Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. But before we get down to that, let me apologize and say if my voice sounds kind of weird or it squeaks or keeps going in and out or anything like that, or even me having to clear my throat a lot, I do apologize. I am still sick. I'm getting over that cold that I had since last Sunday, or yeah, I guess it was last Saturday actually. So I'm still getting over that. My throat's really acting up today. My voice is all kind of all over the place. So I do want to apologize if, if I sound kind of weird in today's video, but I got some great stuff today, so let's get right down to it. So as you guys probably remember from last week, I went to one of my local pawn shops, grabbed myself a bunch of laser discs. Well, I went back today and grabbed myself a whole lot more, so let's take a look at what I got. So here they are, 18 new laser discs. Let's take a look at what I got. First thing I picked up was a bunch of Rodgers and Hammerstein titles. First one here is Oklahoma. I got State Fair, Carousel, and South Pacific. These are all fantastic movies. Then I grabbed Splash. I already have this on DVD and VHS, but that is great artwork with the Twin Towers in the background. Just had to get this. I got Silent Movie, good Mel Brooks movie. Simply picking this up to replace my VHS copy. 12 Monkeys, love this movie. It's great. Had to get a Laserdisc version of that. Fatal Instinct, also picking this up to replace my VHS copy. And this was great. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. For whatever reason, I don't know if they had these sitting in back from last week, or maybe the guy who sold the Laserdisc or traded in the Laserdisc to them last week traded in some more, or maybe even somebody new traded in some Laserdiscs. But today when I went there, not only did they have the shelf full of Laserdiscs that they had last week, but on the floor was a small little pile of new titles that weren't there last week. And one of the titles in there was Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Had to get this. This movie is fantastic. I cannot believe I got a Laserdisc version of that. Then I grabbed My Fair Lady, again, getting us to replace the VHS copy. West Side Story, this is great because my DVD copy is actually in full screen, whereas this is letterbox. So very happy to have this. But even if I already had the DVD and widescreen, I definitely want to pick this up because it's just a great movie. It's just for collecting purposes. I definitely want to have a Laserdisc version. Then I got Snoopy Come Home, love it. The Postman, starring Kevin Costner. This I wanted to see for a while now. I keep coming across this on DVD and just passing it up. So very happy to have a copy of this now. Barbary Coast, looked like I had a pretty cool synopsis. Looks like a good movie. Just want to pick that up. Top Gun, again, getting this for collecting purposes. Then I grabbed Dumbo. This here's one of the new titles that was laying in that new little pile on the ground, and I'll grab any Disney animation on Laserdisc. Army of Darkness. This is great. This and Batman Mask of the Phantasm were my two best buys of today, I would definitely have to say. Great artwork here, and just the fact that I got a copy of Army of Darkness on Laserdisc, that is fantastic. And then the last title I picked up was Cutthroat Island. Love this movie. If you've seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, I recommend checking this one out. It's a great, fantastic title. So that's it. That was all 18 of the Laserdiscs I bought today. Great deal. Again, these were all $1.99 each, and it was the same as last week. Buy two, get one free. So great deal. So that's all Laserdiscs I picked up from the pawn shop. But while I was there, I also grabbed myself 3 DVDs, all for $2 each. First one I picked up was Invictus. This movie looked pretty interesting. I remember back when it first came out, I saw the ads on TV and thought it looked like an interesting movie. Definitely wanted to check it out, see what it's all about. For $2, it was a great deal. The next title I got was a no-brainer. Had to grab this, and that is Black Eagle, starring good old Jean-Claude Van Damme. Love it. I'm trying to get every single Jean-Claude Van Damme movie ever made. I'm a huge Van Damme fan. This is one more for the collection. This was a great buy. And the last title I picked up was The Fugitive Kind, starring Marlon Brando. This looked great. I've heard good things about this over the years. I read the synopsis, sounded very cool. Brand new, never opened. For $2, this was a fantastic deal. Cannot wait to watch this. So that's it for what I bought today, so now on to what I watched. And as I said yesterday, I checked out Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. So tonight, I obviously checked out Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Now, I love all three of these movies. I think they're fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the Pirates series. These are just all good movies. But let me get my thoughts on the movies a little bit and also say why I think people do not like these two. So, first off, I want to say Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Great movie. When I saw this, I immediately fell in love with it. I remember, I think it was like me, my girlfriend, which is my wife now, and like my friends and I, we all went out to the theaters to check this one out. I was really looking forward to seeing this. When I saw it, I was just taken back. This was such a great film. Big fan. But I call this movie the Indiana Jones of the series. And the reason being is because it's just a straight up action-adventure story. The plot and the characters, I mean, it's not really thought-provoking. You're not really supposed to get like involved in the characters. They're just there. You're supposed to root for them. You're supposed to like them, but you're not really supposed to get like emotionally involved with them. Same thing with the story. The story is just, it's simple. Yeah, it has some, love points and love interests and twists and stuff, but for the most part, you're not really meant to get wrapped up in the story. The plot, it's not really, this isn't really a story-based movie. This is just simply action-adventure, just constantly thrown at you. It gets you pumped, it gets you psyched, it gets you into the movie, and that's it. It's basically a popcorn movie. It's just to sit back and just take in all the great scenery and the sword fighting and all the pirates and just explosions and all that jazz, and that's basically what this movie is. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like that, and that's why I call it the Indiana Jones of the series, because it has that Indiana Jones action-adventure feel. I mean, the Indiana Jones movies, they're not necessarily story-based. They're just simply just action-adventure stories, and that's great. And I love this movie for that. I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. I have nothing bad to say about this movie. It's a great movie just to sit back and enjoy. Then we get on to Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and At World's End. And these two movies, a lot of people seem to not like nearly as much. Not me. I personally love these, but I know a lot of people, some people were like, you know, mixed about Dead Man's Chest, and a lot of people just really did not like At World's End. And these movies, I call these movies the Star Wars movies of the series. And the reason being is because these are epic movies. These are more like story plot driven movies. Yeah, they got action and they got adventure in them, just like the Star Wars films. You know, plenty of action, plenty of adventure thrown at you. But at the same time, they're very story-driven. You're meant to get into the storyline. You're meant to get into the characters more. These are more epic. It's not just like this one that was simply just action-adventure just thrown at you, and that's it. You're not really supposed to get into it. You're just supposed to say, hey, this is, you know, action-adventure, and I love it. These, yes, we get action-adventure, but that's not the point of these movies. The point of these movies are for you to get involved in the characters and involved in the storyline. And I love that. I thought that was great. I'm glad they went in that direction. I really enjoy these. When I watch these movies, I get so wrapped up in them because I get wrapped up in the story and everything that's happening and the characters. You start to learn a lot more about them and get, you know, into their. You start to learn about like the characters really in depth, and I love that about these movies. They're just so well done. But I guess a lot of people, what they wanted was simply just two more action-adventure stories. They didn't want to have to get into the plot. They didn't want to have to get into the characters. They just wanted, you know, the people they saw in the first movie just doing what they did in the first movie, just, you know, shooting things and blowing things up and sword fights and just action-adventure. That's what people wanted. I did not have a problem with them not going that route, because we do get plenty of action-adventure in here. You know, there's still the same comedy that we get from the first one, the action we get from the first one, the adventure we get from the first one, the characters, they're all the same, acting the same, but it's the fact that we get a really deep, good story, and I absolutely adore that. I love that about these films. So, you know, I just don't understand why people weren't okay with that. Why so many people seem to why they just want another action adventure story that was just, you know, you don't really get involved with it, you just go with the flow. I don't really know why people wanted that so much. Yeah, they could have done two more movies like that, and I'm sure they would have been fine. They would have been great. There wouldn't have been a problem with them. But I don't know. I mean, as good as they probably would have been, I like the fact that they went this way. I mean, come on. In the end of Dead Man's Chest, when Barbossa shows up, when, you know, he's been brought back from the dead by Calypso, I remember seeing that in theaters, and I literally fell back, like I just did there. I fell back in my seat. I was just so taken back. I had just spent, what was it, like 2.5 hours wrapped up in this movie, and then they end it with such a fantastic cliffhanger with bringing Barbossa back, who I love the character of Barbossa. I think he's fantastic. So when they brought him back, that was, I mean, I was so psyched to see the next movie. I mean, I couldn't wait for the next film to come out because I just thought that was such a fantastic cliffhanger, and it was just great. So my thoughts on Dead Man's Chest and At World's End is they're just fantastic. Yes, they are epic movies. Again, they're the Star Wars of the movies. They have lots of just dialogue and lots of scenes that do kind of drag on. I know some people said that, I heard some people say that they thought these movies, you know, had too much like dialogue and too many scenes that just kind of drug on. But they're epic movies. They're story-driven movies. You need all that story. You need all that dialogue. You can't just have 2.5 hours of action-adventure like you had with Curse of the Black Pearl. You can't have that with an epic movie. You need more story. You need a lot more, you know, people just talking and and whatnot to get into the characters, to get into the story more. You can't just constantly have action-adventure, or you're just going to have a straight-up action-adventure movie. Which, again, I guess a lot of people wanted. Me, I don't care. I love all the dialogue. I love all the, I don't care how slow-paced some parts are. I don't care how much stuff drags along. I don't care, because I think it's great. I get into it. The more people just talk, the more the story goes along, the more I get wrapped up in these, and I think they are fantastic. If for any reason you haven't seen these, definitely check them out. Maybe you heard they weren't so good. I disagree. If you like stuff like Star Wars, you like that epic type of movie, you're definitely going to want to check these out. And if for some reason you saw Dead Man's Chest and you didn't like it and you just skipped watching, At World's End, try watching them again. Watch them back to back. They're great movies. I would definitely recommend them. Then we get, I'm not really going to talk about it too much, but with a movie like On Stranger Tides, which I just watched like 3 days ago, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was great. But we do get a little bit back into just straight up action adventure with that movie. It's not really story driven. It's basically kind of just getting back into the first movie. It's just straight up action adventure, which is I think why a lot of people really like that movie, because I hear all the time over and over again about how much people loved Pirates, Curse of the Black Pearl, and then Dead Man's Chest and At World's End they didn't like, but then they really liked On Stranger Tides. And again, I think it's because we went back to just straight up action adventure, which I didn't have anything wrong with. I absolutely love the movie. In fact, I'll probably be watching that one really soon again. Even though I only watched it 3 days ago, I'm probably going to check it out really soon. Maybe tomorrow night. I don't even know. Really soon, though, because I loved it that much. I already want to watch it again. And it is just an action-adventure movie, which apparently, I guess that's what people want. People really seem to like Curse of the Black Pearl, and they really seem to like On Stranger Tides. So I guess what people want is just straight-up action-adventure. They don't want to get wrapped up in a story, which, I don't know. Me, personally, I kind of like getting wrapped up in a story. I like what the story brings. I like that it gets you really into it. You start to feel for the characters. You almost feel like you're there, whereas watching a straight up action adventure movie, you feel distant from it. You don't really feel like you're there. I mean, people sword fighting and things blowing up and stuff like that. It's great. It's fun to watch. It's really, it's entertaining. But when you really get into a story, when you really start to know the characters and you start to get, feelings for the story, it always feels like you're there, like you're part of it, and you get, I don't know, me personally, I just get really excited about that, and I love the whole epic thing. So, I hear now they're doing, they want to do another like two-parter with Pirates of the Caribbean 5 and 6. And if they do that, I kind of hope they go back to the epic thing. I kind of hope they get, I know a lot of people probably aren't going to like the films they do this, but I personally hope they don't just try to do 2 more action-adventure stories. I hope they try to do like 2 more action-adventure epic stories like they did with Dead Man's Chest and At World's End. That's me personally. So that's my thoughts on the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Again, I absolutely love them. I think they are fantastic. For any reason you haven't seen them, definitely check it out. And if you didn't like At World's End or Dead Man's Chest and At World's End, give them another chance. They're really, really, really good. They're such fantastic movies. Just look at them as if they are epic movies. Look at them as if, again, as I called them, the Star Wars of the series. Look at them that way. You're getting into a story. That's what you're doing. You're not just getting into action and adventure. So try to look at it that way and watch them again. They're great. And if you haven't seen On Stranger Tides, it's really good. We go back to the action adventure, so if that's what you're into, you're going to like it. So that's it. Again, I got a ton of great stuff today. A lot of really good titles from the pawn shop. A lot of good Laserdisc. That was awesome. Those 3 DVDs, that was great. So I definitely had a good day today. I only paid about $30 for everything. I said 18 Laserdiscs and 3 DVDs. It all came out to about $30. So that was a really good deal. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya.